Tonight on Q2, changes are underway for a Billings Heights intersection.
There has not been another crash since, which, thank you, but you never know.
The Montana Department of Transportation implementing those safety changes in near record time, plus taking a shot in the dark.
For me, I didn't have a choice. I mean, it's either die or get a new liver.
A Montana man saved by a liver transplant, and now he gets to meet the donors that saved his life. The MTN 430 News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Tonight, long-awaited changes are finally coming to a problem intersection in the Billings Heights, just 2 weeks after we first reported on a string of crashes at Mary and Bitterroot Drive, where neighbors warned it was only a matter of time before somebody was killed there. Now in near record speed, road officials say they have solutions ready with new safety measures set to go in as early as this week.
Brand new truck too.
It wasn't long ago.
It could have been my child in that wreck.
This was the scene at Mary and Bitterroot in the Billings Heights.
It's heartbreaking.
Reliving the crashes outside her front door has Amanda Rule emotional.
You never know what could happen.
After 4 serious crashes in a matter of months, this troubled intersection has been on her mind. And neighbors didn't stay quiet about the danger.
There has not been another crash since, which, thank you, but you never know.
In what seems like record time, the state did a traffic study at this intersection, looking for ways to fix the problem, something the city and the county are ready to implement now.
The city and the county, we each have 2 legs of the intersection. So it is a little bit unique in the fact that, it's a shared jurisdiction.
Debbie Melling with Billings Public Works says one of the issues is limited visibility at night.
It's dark. It's a dark intersection.
Just 2 weeks after we first told you about the dangers here, street crews will now add larger edge-lit stop signs similar to this, stop bars and reflective strips, all aimed at getting northbound drivers to actually stop.
So the stop control will not change, but the visibility of that stop will change.
Some, like Amanda, were hoping for a 4-way stop or a roundabout.
I agree with what they're doing, but there's still going to be accidents.
However, officials say when safety measures are added where they aren't needed, it can actually make an intersection more dangerous.
So say we throw up a 4-way stop where it's not warranted. So you're on a street, it feels like a through street, it looks like a through street, and there's a stop. The possibility of blowing that stop sign is higher.
I call it a win, but there is going to be more.
Amanda sees those crashes firsthand.
You have subdivisions building, you're going to have more traffic, more high school kids driving that intersection.
She's defending the safety measures already won and pushing for even more just in case.
Be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what's going on, be aware of changes.
You can expect to see those changes at the stop signs at Mary and Bitterroot as early as tomorrow. That is, of course, if all of the parts come in on time. Driving conditions are still a mess today as crews work to dig out from Friday's snowstorm. From the bitter cold to another round of snow lining up. We aren't out of the woods just yet. With a first look at the Tuesday forecast, here's our meteorologist, Jason Stiff.
Yeah, we've had a lot of clouds today around much of southern Montana and northern Wyoming. Some light amounts of snow, but also just enough warmth to bring some areas some rain and snow mixes. The last hour to hour and a half or so, we've been reporting some drizzle along with some snow in the Billings area. And you can see that as we zoom into Yellowstone County, parts of Bighorn County too, from Billings to Hardin. Make sure you drive carefully, especially at higher speeds, because we're going to have some wet roads. And in just a few hours, all those temperatures are going to be dropping, giving us much better chance for some icy roads and highways as well as sidewalks. We'll still have the potential for some more light snow from 10 p.m. until about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, but we also have some other changes in the long-term forecast. I'll give you all details coming up in a few minutes.
A Montana man just got an early Christmas gift he feared would never come. We first met 61-year-old Randy Sear last year when he was desperately waiting for a new liver. Now he has one, and he's met the family who made it possible. As our Mac Carmack finds out, Randy and his donor share more than they thought in common.
This Montana auctioneer is able to return to his life's passion after months of fighting.
For me, I didn't have a choice. I mean, it's either die or get a new liver.
Last April, 61-year-old Randy Sear found out he had stage 4 liver cirrhosis. His only option, a new liver.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
He was immediately placed on the organ recipient list in Montana. Last September, after months of waiting, his wish came true.
I got a call from the head surgeon, Dr. O'Mara, and she said, we got a new liver. This one's a good one, and you're going into surgery at 2 o'clock in the morning.
After receiving his liver, the real work began to get back to his life of auctioneering and ranching.
Just more anxious to get on with it more than anything.
Fast forward to 1 year later, Randy did what he thought was a shot in the dark. He reached out to his liver donor's family. What was amazing, his donor was a Montana girl who loved animals and the outdoors just as much as he does.
So neat that he was a rancher, Montana guy. A lot of the same interests what Nikki did.
Nikki Leap passed away on September 15th, 2024 in Billings after suffering a brain aneurysm. Her family remembers her for her love of animals, her faith in God, and her contagious energy.
A loss for us, but a gain for him. So you see what Nikki did.
Her liver can ride horses all day long.
Last Monday, Randy met Nikki's family, and both parties believe she now lives on within him.
I mean, it was like we've known each other forever. I mean, wonderful, wonderful family.
It's an experience that's touched the lives of both of these families. Randy now lives each day with meaning, and the Leap family advocates for organ donor awareness.
At first, when we were up there and we found out she was a donor, we didn't want that to be, because it was going to prolong the agony. But after the fact and seeing what she did for somebody else to give them life, to extend their life, what a blessing. Yeah. What a blessing. Huge.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
President Donald Trump is standing behind his Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, as questions mount over deadly U.S. airstrikes on what military officials called a drug-running boat in the Caribbean. The president made his comments during a cabinet meeting, and he also touched on the efforts to end the war in Ukraine. Erica Brown has the latest.
At a cabinet meeting Tuesday, President Trump responded to the controversy surrounding U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean.
To me, it was an attack. It wasn't one strike, two strikes, three strikes.
The comments come a day after the White House confirmed a second strike on a suspected drug boat did take place in September after people survived the first strike. But Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says he didn't issue an order to kill everybody, as the Washington Post reported.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded and fire, smoke, you can't see anything, you got digital. This is called the fog of war.
The White House says it was U.S. Navy Admiral Frank Bradley who gave the order, which it insists was legal. But lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are questioning whether a war crime was committed.
I think there's a broad consensus that it's illegal to kill people who are clinging to wreckage.
Instead of accepting responsibility for what happened, Hegseth chose to throw Admiral Bradley under the bus. Shame on Pete Hegseth.
During Tuesday's cabinet meeting, President Trump also weighed in on talks underway in Moscow to end the war in Ukraine, with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Our people are over in Russia right now to see if we can get it settled. Not an easy situation, let me tell you. What a mess.
Ahead of the meeting, Putin rejected European counterproposals for a peace deal and warned Russia would be ready for war if a conflict escalated with Europe. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Costco is now one of the biggest companies challenging President Trump's sweeping tariffs, taking the administration to court for a refund on imported goods it paid for if the Supreme Court rules it's illegal. The retailer argues the president misused a 1977 law to impose tariffs on products from more than 100 countries and that only Congress has the power to set those. Trump says the tariffs have generated hundreds of billions of dollars for the government and warns refunds could hurt the economy. The White House says it's confident there will be a quick resolution. President Trump announced a trust fund for every child in America. The Invest America accounts give tax-deferred savings under a provision in the One Big Beautiful bill. They're available to all children under 18 years old with a Social Security number. Anyone can contribute up to $5,000 a year. The government will also provide one-time seed contributions of $1,000 to babies born between January 1st of 2025 and 2028.
Account should grow to be worth many thousands of dollars by the time the child is 18 and even more by the time they are 20 or even 30 years old. We think it's going to be something really unique and really special.
We believe the smartest investment that we can make is an investment in children.
Some donors promise to contribute $250 to the accounts of 25 million children under the age of 10 in zip codes where the median household income is $150,000 a year or less. The Real ID just became a reality this year, but the rules are already shifting. Starting next year, you can fly without one, but it won't be free. MTN's Jonathan Anbarian breaks down the proposed fees.
The next time you're packing up for a trip to the airport, you may want to double-check your identification. Starting on February 1st, the TSA says it's going to be charging a $45 fee if travelers don't have either a Real ID or another form of compliant identification. A Real ID requires more documentation than a standard driver's license. To get it, you need to show proof that you're a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. For years, officials have warned that people eventually won't be allowed to fly without a Real ID, passport, or other allowed alternative. After February, they say people without acceptable ID will be able to get aboard, but only if they go through an alternative identity verification that will cost money and could lead to delays. In Montana, replacing your driver's license with a Real ID costs an extra $25. Jim Ford was on his way from Helena to Houston Tuesday. He says he got a Real ID soon after it became available in Montana, even though the requirement to use Real ID was delayed time and time again.
I didn't want to have anything interfere with my travel arrangements. I knew all the other states were going towards it, so it was only a matter of time before it was going to be required.
You can recognize if your driver's license is a Real ID by a gold star in the corner. Nationwide, the TSA estimates 94% of Americans are already using a Real ID or another compliant form of identification. In Montana, the Motor Vehicle Division says just 42% of people have Real ID compliant licenses. But all the travelers I spoke with Tuesday either had Real IDs already or used passports instead, so they didn't see a need to upgrade. If you'd like to apply for a Real ID, you can schedule an appointment with Montana MVD online. You can find a link on our website. In some cases, department leaders say they'll even be able to accommodate same-day appointments. In Helena, Jonathan Anbarian, MTN News.